This is the Icy Breeze V2 Pro. It uses ice water to produce cold, dry air. And in this video, I'm going to answer some of the questions you might have. Like how long the ice lasts when it's running, when it's not running. We're also going to find out if it can bring down the ambient temperature in the van and how much power it consumes. Finally, I'm going to give you my opinion on if it's a good purchase for van life. What up, friends? My name is Junje. I'm a music producer and DJ from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm currently living in my van full-time in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you've been following me at all, you know that my biggest and pretty much only dislike about van life is the heat. And Vegas heat is no joke. Before I left the East Coast, I did some research on van life AC solutions, and IcyBreeze was something that seemed like it could possibly work. I waited till I got out here to make the purchase just because I wasn't sure if I was definitely going to need it, but turns out I definitely needed it. They don't have a store or warehouse where you can go and pick it up, but I actually have a buddy who lives in Las Vegas, so I was able to have it shipped to his house, and I just went by and picked it up. Shout out Noah. Thanks, man. All right, so now that we have the cooler, I want to do a couple tests to really see exactly how well this thing is going to work for me. The first test I want to do is just load it up with ice and see how long it lasts without being used or opened. It's advertised as being able to last 5 to 7 days, depending on the temperature. The reason I'm doing this test first is because right now it's Friday, and over the weekend, it's only supposed to get into the 80s, but next week, it's supposed to get into the 90s. It still gets to close to 100 degrees inside the van, even though it's only like 85 outside, just because it's a metal box and heats up pretty quick. So it should be a good indicator on how long the ice lasts when it's not being used. All right, I'm gonna go grab some ice, fill up the Icy Breeze, see how long it lasts. All right, so we got the Icy Breeze filled up for our first test. We got 28 pounds of ice in here. It says it'll hold up to 30, so 28 was 4 bags, 7-pound bags. So that's what we're gonna do for each test. This first test, I'm gonna close it up. We're gonna start the timer. We're gonna do from right now, which is exactly 8:30. We're gonna go till 8:30 Monday morning. So that'll be 60 hours. Then we would at least have a good idea if it's gonna make it through a full week. So that's it. It's closed up. Not gonna open it again until Monday morning at 8:30. See you then. All right, y'all, it is 8:30 a.m. Monday morning, and it's been 60 hours since I put some ice in here and closed it up. I have actually not opened this thing since then, but when I'm driving around, I can definitely hear that a lot of the ice is melted. So we're gonna go ahead and crack this thing open and see what it looks like. But before we do that, I need you to do one thing for me. All you gotta do is turn your phone back to vertical for me. You'll see that little red button right under the video. It says subscribe. Go ahead and hit that for me. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It'd be awesome if you were one of them. Plus, you'll be able to keep up on all my content that I put out. All right, back to the cooler. So like I said, I haven't opened it. So this is the first time. Here we go. All right, so it's a lot of water in here, Woo! So there definitely still is some ice left in here. It has gotten up to about 110 in the van in the last couple days. And I know that Icy Breeze recommends that it'll last 5 to 7 days in about 90-degree temperature. So we did kind of put it through the ringer a little bit. So I'll take that into consideration. But I did think that there was going to be a little bit more ice left in here after not opening it or using it at all. Another thing Icy Breeze recommends is to actually chill the cooler before starting to use it. So like the night before you would use it, throw a little bit of ice in there. When I took it out of the box, the inside of the cooler was actually pretty warm. So when I started putting the ice in there, probably had some effect on it. So it's still kind of early. It's only about 85 degrees in the van right now. So I do want to wait till it gets a little bit hotter to do the next test. I'm going to get some more ice and meet you guys back here in a couple hours. All right, we're ready for Icy Breeze test number 2. So for this test, I got 4 brand new bags of ice, another 28 pounds, and we're just gonna run it until it's not cold anymore. So right now it's 92 outside and it is 113 inside the van. You could probably tell I'm already sweating just because I didn't have the Icy Breeze on while I was getting everything set up. So it's pretty hot, but we're ready to go now. got it all set up. It has 3 power settings, slow, medium, and fast. That's the fan speed, but IcyBreeze recommends that the slow fan speed should be plenty. Really, the only reason you ever want to speed it up is if you're diverting the air. They have adapters that you can buy that allow you to split the air into 2 different sections, but it's not going to make the air any colder. So we're just going to keep it on setting 1 because it's right here. It's going to be able to blow right on me, so it'll be nice and cool. We're just going to run it until it's not cold anymore, see how long it lasts, see how much battery it takes up, and also see if it brings down the ambient temperature at all. We'll just see how it goes. All right, we've been running for a little bit over an hour right now. It's running pretty good. They do recommend that you drain some of the water out so it slows down the ice melting process. So that's what we're gonna do right now. All right, so it's just about 2 hours. And we are almost out of ice. We got this one big block that froze together, but doesn't look like we got much longer. All right, that's a wrap on test number 2. So the ice is completely melted. The air coming out of the hose is still a little bit cold. It's definitely cooler than the air from just a regular fan, but it's pretty much at the end. Overall, after this second test, I pretty much realized that it's almost right on par with everything that IcyBreeze advertises. It works best as a directional AC, so if you're pointing it right at you, it feels good. Doesn't really do much for the ambient temperature. We started at 113. I think the lowest we got was 110. And when it's that high, 3 degrees doesn't really matter. They say a full cooler of ice will get you about 2 to 3 hours. We got 2.5. As far as the battery, it definitely did take a hit, but I'm not really gonna talk too much about that because if you've seen any of my videos, you already know my battery system is not that great. So I don't really wanna use that against testing out the IcyBreeze cooler, but it was able to power it for the 2.5 hours, so definitely got the job done. So the next test we're gonna do is we're gonna wait another few hours. When the sun goes down, the van has a little bit of time to cool off on its own. Then we're gonna do another full run with the IcyBreeze, another 28 pounds of ice, and see how it turns out. All right, final test for the first impression of the IcyBreeze AC cooler. So this is gonna be another continuous test. We just run it until it stops being cold, but throwing in a couple curveballs. It's almost 9 o'clock. It's 95 degrees in here. I got the stove going because I'm making a late dinner. I got the vent fan open up, and I got 12 warm cans inside the cooler. Also, instead of using the battery that I have in the van, I'm using my backup battery here. So we'll see how it works on that. Here we go. So it's the next day. I was able to run it last night periodically. So I ran it for about a half hour while I was cooking. Then I cut it off for a half hour. Then I ran it for another 45 minutes while I was getting some work done. Then I cut it off again for about another half hour. And then right when I was ready to go to sleep, I had it on for about an hour, hour and a half, and it worked perfectly. I actually shut it off before it stopped getting cold because I was already cold enough and I didn't really need it anymore. And this morning, right when I woke up, it was starting to get a little bit warm in here. So I turned it on for about another half hour with just the cold water in there, and it was still producing a little bit of cold air. I was also using my battery backup instead of the power in the van, and it worked great. So what are my final thoughts on the IcyBreeze? I'm gonna be honest, I was a little nervous after the second test when I was still sweating and pretty much needed to be leaning over the air vent in order to have any kind of comfort. But the nighttime test made me realize that it's definitely going to be helpful on those hot nights where it's tough to fall asleep. Overall, I would say this thing works exactly as IcyBreeze advertises it. I think my problem was that I was hoping they underpromised and over-delivered. That's not really the case. For the price, this version with no extra upgrades was $289, and it was about $10 for shipping. I paid full price. This was in no way sponsored by IcyBreeze, and they probably have no idea who I am. Also, keep in mind that you're going to be spending about $7 to $8 in ice for every 2 to 3 hours that you want cold air. So the big question, is it a good product for van life? If you're looking for something that's going to cool off your van entirely, this is definitely not the product for you. But if you're a solo van lifer and you're occasionally looking for some relief from the heat, this might be a good option for you. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. Like I said, I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm only at like 370 right now, but I think we can do it. I put out all different types of content, vlogs, remixes, original songs, tutorials, reviews, and even some motivational stuff. So hopefully you can find something that you can enjoy. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.